What is good, everybody? Man, it's your boy Jay in the building. We is back again with another video. Now, before we get this video started, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys share this video. We are talking about Jackson State versus Southern, the Boombox Classic. Man, now, I think for me personally, I think both of these teams are coming in just a tad bit desperate. I think more so Jackson State than Southern, but I think both of these teams are coming in just a little bit desperate. Even though with Southern, I don't think that game counted as a conference game. I don't think so. From what I saw on the record, it didn't count toward their record in conference play. So if that's the case, then I think Jackson State is coming in a lot more desperate than Southern because they don't want to fall 0-2. And I think it will make it extremely impossible for them to come back and at least try and contain in the East. Even though for FAMU, they're going to have to run the table, and so Jackson State, So, but listen, the tables have turned for Jackson State. Now they're the ones behind. So we're going to see what happens, man. But this game, man, first of all, let's get into Southern real quickly. They're playing with a new quarterback in Harold Blood. I've seen him play for the first time last week against Alabama State. He did some good things. He wasn't really great when it came to throwing the ball, even though I did see that he can run the ball. So he can get out there. They do have a pretty good backfield with Gary Qualls and Kobe Dillon. Listen, shout out to Kobe Dillon because I don't know what happened to him last year. I don't know why he didn't play last year, but shout out to him for playing this year. Defensively, Southern is tough. This defense for Southern is absolutely tough. Starting with Jalen Campbell. That Jalen Campbell is an absolute monster. Led the team in tackles last year. I think he had like 80-something tackles with 14 tackles for loss and 11 sacks. He started last week. He ended the game with 15 tackles and a tackle for loss. Dude is an absolute monster, man. So if there's any defensive player that Jackson State needs to try and contain, it's definitely him. Definitely him. And they also got they also got Gibbons. They also got Derek Williams at the other linebacker spot. Got Taj Brown, and they also have the Jalen Davis, the transfer from Jackson State. But this team, listen, Southern defensively played well enough to win that game last week. They played well enough to win that game. It's just offensively, he just couldn't keep up. So hopefully, with Southern, listen, the game plan for Southern should be to run the ball. Run some more. Because this run defense for Jackson State ain't look too good to me in the first two games. And listen, say what y'all want about game one. They gave up over 130 yards. Say what you want. And then they turn around last week and give up 200. So on average, within those first two games, that's at least over 150, 160 at least. They give up over 160 yards rushing per game between their first two games. So they definitely have to clean that rush defense up. I know Isaac Peppers and Khalil Arrington, for me, have been their most consistent defensive players in terms of Jackson State. Now, in terms of the injuries, I wonder if Seven McGee is going to be able to play this week. I didn't see J.D. Martin last week. Hopefully he'll be able to play. Jaheim Hazel got injured late last week. Even with him having 2 blocked field goals, which was pretty good. So hopefully he'll be healthy enough to play. And Jason Brown, hopefully his hand. Listen, I'm pretty sure Jason Brown is going to start this weekend. He's gonna start, I'm sure. The key is his hand healthy enough to throw the ball. How well has he been throwing the ball this week in practice? I think that would be key. Mulligan has been their most consistent offensive player, along with Rico Powers. So hopefully, Jackson State could find ways to give them the ball, give it to them often. Listen, find ways to try and run on this Southern defense, man, because this defense is tough. And if you're not able to get Mulligan going, you're going to have to find ways to spread the ball around like you did game 1. And listen, I've seen it in the first 2 games. The offensive line isn't as good as they were last year. They are pretty decent. They are pretty good. I'm not saying they're not good. They are a good offensive line. It's just they're not as good or as big as they were last year. Last year, they were dominant, especially within their first 7 to 8 games last year. But this offensive line, they're gonna have to protect Jason. In order for them to have some success throwing the ball. Because listen, Southern's defense is a little vicious, and listen, and I'm pretty sure with them seeing what FAMU did, especially in the first half, I'm pretty sure Southern is going to try and emulate that. The key thing is for Southern is for Harold Blood to find his receivers and make sure he completes the ball down the field, because that was an issue with Musa, with FAMU, and that was an issue with Harold Blood last week against Alabama State, So hopefully, listen, the thing is for me is, could Jackson State hold up on defense in terms of holding down this rush defense the same way Alabama State did? Listen, Southern only ran the ball for, I think, under 70 yards. So if Jackson State could do that, if they could contain Southern running the ball, they would definitely have a chance to win. And as a matter of fact, I do have Jackson State winning this game by a hair. By a hair. It is close because they are going on the road in a sold out crowd, which listen, Southern don't like Jackson State. Jackson State don't like Southern. It's the Boombox Classic, man. Listen, I know it's going to be packed. Now, this game is going to be put here on this channel, whether I'm reacting to it or I'll post the game myself. But this game will be on this channel. Believe it, believe me. But I am excited for this game. Both of these teams are coming in here a little desperate. So I am interested to see how that works. Listen, Jackson State, if that 3-3-5 don't work this week, man, throw it away. Get back to the 4-2-5. Get back to the 4-2-5, man, because, listen, that defense, the first 2 weeks, the rush defense, it has not been, no. So, hopefully, listen, hopefully y'all be able to clamp down, and we'll see what happens, man. But I'm excited for the game. I'm absolutely excited for the game, man. So, we can't wait for it. Once again, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you guys share the video, man. We out of here.